Oh, are we in the private chat? We were. Hey, are we live? We are live, allegedly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live on YouTube. It's the channel for the show Nobody Asked with Maria
Hey!
and Colin. Hey! Today we'll be tackling some hard-hitting topics like shooting the breeze and so without further ado, here is Nobody Asked.
Nobody asked. That's what I'm saying. I
Nobody.
can't really rap, but I'm gonna try anyway. No, I'm not.
And that's the theme song.
Very
Mom,
bad.
would you like to introduce the first topic?
No.
Well, very well then.
I will say, you could be louder. I feel like you could be louder.
I could be louder. I don't think I have access to those settings. Let's see.
I feel like you might. Maybe not, though. Audio.
Echo cancellation must use stereo audio.
But you know,
I have automatically
automatically
adjust. All right,
uncheck
I'm
that
turning
and
up my
just
mic
crank it
volume.
to the top.
Oh,
There
to
you
the top?
Yeah, just crank it.
How do I sound now?
A little better. I like it.
Only a little?
I mean, I can hear you. It's fine.
Maybe it's because my hair is over my headphones.
I think that's exactly what it was. Very interesting indeed. Powerful hair that you have there. Powerful hair indeed.
Well, I will get a haircut for the sake of this most fine program.
I mean, you could just braid it. I braided your dad's hair today.
I'm also gross. I'm considering getting a haircut for. It's snowing. I'm considering getting a haircut for Make 48's national competition because it's going to be a lot of people that see it, and I will be in it. And so 28 million estimated viewers, which is a lot. So,
that is a lot.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
So I'm kind of like, maybe I get a haircut. Maybe I buy some more collared shirts. Yeah.
Are you going to shave the face then, too?
No.
No?
I mean, I'll trim it, but.
All right. Just checking. All right.
Wow. Ooh, the opinions come out. My God. This early in the podcast.
I don't know. See, what would it look like if you kept the long hair, but you just shaved the face? Would that be enough?
What would it look like if I just shaved this part right here?
And just had a mustache.
Just had it is a renaissance of mustaches right now.
Ooh, a renaissance, you say?
Yes.
Whatever that means, it's what it is, a renaissance.
Today's episode is sponsored by the Russian government.
Oh.
Hey, things are going pretty good, right? Frankly, I haven't noticed anything wrong. And if you have, what about what Harvey Weinstein did, right? That was crazy. That was terrible. And
awful.
We don't support it. Even though it was straight, we don't support it. The Russian government. What about Harvey Weinstein?
Nicely done. Nicely done. I enjoyed that deflection. I enjoyed that. Look over there. Look over there.
Some might say, what aboutism?
Some people might say, what aboutism? I
but
know
they
that
would
you
be
love
heretics.
No. I mean, you literally used the words, what about? So you really, did it perfectly, textbook style. What about this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Sorry, I just had a thought, and then I decided not to say it. Yep. Quickly just placed it in a box to the left.
I'm just saying, if our chat wants to be full of Russian bots, please come and show up, Russian bots. Show up.
Yeah, we welcome it. Absolutely. Hey, man,
give us some
use
shit.
your views.
Yeah. Give us some shit. Tell us that we're wrong about stuff. We're here for it.
For shizzle.
Being,
For shizzle, my friend.
Being attacked and unloved is easier sometimes than being loved.
I just accidentally, how do I, I figured it out. I figured it out. Here.
What did you figure out? I don't
Boom.
even know what you figured out.
Somebody commented on the stream.
What?
Somebody commented on the stream.
Okay.
They say we suck. Oh.
Hey.
I'm still logged into
you.
the podcast YouTube.
That's amazing. The podcast that I can't figure out how to get these to show up on, and so they're here instead.
Oh, they're on Looney Tunes. I didn't even realize they were Looney Tunes Stripper Squeegee.
Yep. Looney Tunes Stripper Squeegee. Sorry.
Yeah, what is that? That's really kind of the hard hitting. Last week we were kind of light with our topic, and so this week we want to go a little more hard hitting. And I just wanted to ask, kind of as an interviewer, what made you come up with the title Looney Tunes Stripper Squeegee?
Oh boy, I mean, it's not that interesting. No, it was the first time that I was live with Johnny Yates, right? He was giving me a go. Will this work? Will we have a good chemistry? Whatever. And I'm not sure how the topic of Canada came up, but it did. And I started talking about how weirdly in Canada, particularly in the Niagara Falls area, they have strip clubs that are like right across the street from, family campgrounds.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember people being like, oh, Canada's not like that.
Yep, they got all worked up about it. They're like, Canada's not like that. And Canada's definitely like that. At least Niagara Falls is like that. And, they had these big digital boards that were advertising like their country buffet at the strip club. Mm-hmm. It was a whole thing. And then I started talking about how in the strip clubs there, because the $1 and $2 there are coins, right? The one is a loonie and the two is a toonie, apparently. That's what they'll call them.
Oh, look at this.
That they'll throw these coins in, right? They'll throw the coins up on the stage. And then at the end, the stripper comes through, or maybe another employee comes through, and they use the little squeegee to just shoo all those coins off the stage.
That's terrible.
And it was just such a ridiculous scenario that it then became my name. So that is the origin story of that name.
I've gotten on a little bit of a pedestal recently about this idea that, anyone has the right to be offended by some shit, right? And, the constant shitting on white people is it's liable to make people feel bad. But I think I'm willing to reverse that opinion for Canadians, because who cares if you've hurt their feelings,
Why would you not care about hurting a Canadian's feelings? What's wrong with Canadians?
It's just, you've got it so good already. So just give me a break.
You have it good.
Except for their housing prices in Toronto.
Well, it's a big city, right? I will say, yeah, man, it just seems like a chiller, better version of America.
It's got it beat out Denmark for best quality of life recently.
Really? Well, that's saying something. That's pretty cool. I will say, all of the American truckers that went up there to just wreak havoc and block the streets with their...
was it mostly Americans?
I don't know if it was mostly Americans. It was enough Americans where you're like, is this really about what you're saying it's about? Or, because if it is, then it is, right? If it is Canadians that are taking a stand in protest, go ahead. But if it's Americans going there and inserting their belief system on another country, we would never do that.
No.
That's not a thing that we do here in America. The lie of American exceptionalism,
It's not a lie. Unless you're saying number one. But
we're
top 20%.
so free here.
We're pretty free. Give me a break.
The American dream is achievable for most people.
Yeah, that was a little tougher. That one.
If you work hard, then surely you'll be able to achieve all of your dreams. No.
Freedom of speech, pretty good though. We're pretty good on the freedom of speech.
To the point that we don't even know what it means, and we just think it means we can say whatever we want. Well, that's not what freedom of speech is.
Well, yeah, on one hand, people think that, and that's obviously wrong. And then on the other hand, you'll occasionally see liberals who are classically the freedom of speech people being like, you shouldn't be allowed to say that or protest with that. And it's like, you should probably be more focused on the free speech thing. I think that you should be like,
yeah,
they should be allowed to, and fuck them is a much better opinion than they shouldn't be allowed to say that.
Let people reveal who they are with their terrible, terrible belief systems. Show me who you are. Shout it from the rooftops with terrible signs. Let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Identify yourself. How do you feel about
more flags on your house?
More flags.
And put words on flags.
Words on flags. Let's go, right? Brandon. Right? Let's go, Brandon. Yep. Makes me sad a little bit. I'm going to admit it. I'm going to cry my liberal tears for Let's Go, Brandon. I
make you sad.
I liked Fuck Biden better because, and here's my reasoning why I liked it better, and it was because it had Biden on it. And it was like the idea that Trump supporters would be buying flags, more flags with Biden on them than liberals would, right? Mm-hmm. You don't buy flags with his name on it. So the fact that they would have flags with his name on it, I laughed at a little bit. It made me feel good. I was like, ha.
I just think that Let's Go Brandon gives me a little bit of joy because it shows how low the bar is to make a Republican feel clever. And that gives me a little bit of joy when they're like, did you see when it was a NASCAR race and then they were saying fuck Joe Biden, but then the guy said let's go Brandon, so now we all reference it, but then let's go Brandon, and it makes people so angry. I've never once met a liberal, but it makes them so angry. Like, I love how simple it is to make you this excited.
I like when everybody afterwards says crunchy white pimp forever. That's what I like. Crunchy white pimp forever.
Is that Biden? I don't actually know what that is.
Oh, so that was it was a TikTok. It was on TikTok. There was a girl who said that I think it was her cousin's name was Brandon, and he was a rapper. You know, when he was, I don't know if he was still alive or not. That part was a little lost on me, whether he died early. But he was a young guy, and his name was Crunchy White Pimp, but his real name was Brandon. And so whenever she sees somebody shout, "Let's go, Brandon," she likes to think of her cousin, Crunchy White Pimp. And so if we could all just say Crunchy White Pimp forever every time somebody says, "Let's go, Brandon," then it would just be like a little. So I'm here for it.
Yeah. No, I dig that. Well, it's also just the idea that like Republicans that embrace Let's Go Brandon just assumed that most Democrats and liberals and leftists love Biden like they fetishize Trump. And it's like,
exactly,
dude, he's very few people's first choice.
Nope.
He won on being not somebody else. And that is not, it doesn't really make people love him. I'll vote for his fucking dead corpse over Donald Trump. But
I would have voted for a broken toaster.
And hey, when people say fuck Joe Biden, I'm like,
sure.
My opinion is mostly, I didn't like him the whole time. Yeah. My opinion is mostly, he's done fine so far. I seem to be the only person that feels this way. Yeah, he's average. He's been average, but I will say I was a pretty pro-infrastructure person during the primaries. I thought that there was not enough talk about infrastructure. I know infrastructure isn't sexy, but
it's not sexy. Nothing sexy about bridges.
But there is a crumbling infrastructure, and bridges are a much better way to funnel tax dollars into jobs, which is it's half of the concept of the military-industrial complex. And so, yeah, the fact that he immediately embraced infrastructure, I was like, yeah, great.
Let's do it.
And that's what he did. And he has some other stuff that's been held up. The Democrats have not accomplished all the things. I think it's fair to say that he didn't follow campaign promises, but show me a candidate that follows their campaign promises. He frankly, why aren't Republicans more excited about Biden? He hasn't done any of the things that they were scared about. Like they were all the Republicans ran on the defund the police. That's all the Democrats want to do, bro. Biden says fund the police more verbatim.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Republican candidate and that does infrastructure, which is what the Republicans have been talking about. Why aren't you guys excited?
That's what I'm saying. He's not a liberal. He's never been a liberal. Never. He's never been one. It's just perhaps he appears like one in comparison. He's not.
Yep.
He's always been a moderate. You come at him with too many liberal ideas and he goes, whoa, 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 whoa. If you just want me to use some fancy, proper, politically correct language, I can do that. But that's the only thing I'm willing to do.
Yeah. Dude, he's a cool grandpa, right? You never go up to your cool grandpa and you're like, hey, I think that universal basic income is a great idea and I think college should be free. And I hope that we go into a zero work future. You go up to your cool grandpa and you go, he's cool. I'm not going to ask too many of his opinions. I mean, because then my image of him might change.
Exactly. Is something just at least a little bit racist going to fall out of his mouth? Of course.
Yeah. Of course.
He's your grandpa.
But he means well. He means well.
He doesn't understand why that might not be an appropriate thing to say.
Hey, you know what? I know that this is just supposed to be a shoot in the breeze kind of episode, but how about we solve racism today? You want to do that?
I mean, we can really only do it from our narrow lens of where we are, though, can't we?
No, because I can put on a bunch of lenses, bro. Okay.
All right.
I can put. Here's my lens. Hey, stop it.
Your entire name is on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so here's my thing is that I guess I can take out the last name. I want it to be clear that I'm your son was the main thing. Oh, and so I thought that I assumed that yours would say Maria Wasserline. And so then I thought, clearly it implies the son. It doesn't say that. And so the Wasserline is not necessary. But then I want to have Colin Brink because that's my writing name. And so, just want to have that in case one of these goes viral, got to have that brand out there.
It'll be this one.
It'll be, there's good vibes going around. Solving racism. Hey man, you can, racism is a lot about intention and a little bit about ignorance. But, if old man Biden truly in his heart of hearts believes that all races are equal and then says something racist, it doesn't make him full racist, just makes him low racist, and we can solve it, right?
Yeah.
But we can solve it. Now, if he comes out and he goes, black people are an inferior race, that's pretty racist,
That's all the way racist. Yep.
That's all the way racist. We got it. That's real work. And at his age, that's kind of like, all right, well, you're going to be out of the gene pool pretty soon. But when you fuck up and you say something wrong, if you're a well-intentioned person, you just gotta work on that small thing. But no, it's not shit on his chest. Just help him out.
Help him out. Get a team of young people that will say, listen, all of that stuff, let's explain a microaggression to you. And also understand that you probably don't know. You probably don't know you're making a microaggression because they're micro. You don't recognize it. And then maybe when you do recognize it, you'll go, all right, I get it. I'll try better. But it does make it hard to just have normal conversations with people.
I will say I'm pretty against the term microaggression because I feel like aggression implies intent, right? It implies a certain amount of, when you're aggressive with someone, it means that you want to do that. And
Okay.
so I would like to rebrand, and I'll propose this to the court. Can we rebrand to microtransgression? You've messed up, but it doesn't imply intent. You've broken the law, right? You've broken what we consider to be true, but it doesn't mean that you meant to. Microaggression means that, to me, means you're very subtly and nefariously, and that's what I think it feels like when you hear microaggression. You're very subtly and nefariously trying to be like, I'm racist, but get away with it. Now, if that's what you mean, I think that you should say microaggression, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think, when recently, actually, this is more of a sexist microaggression than a racist microaggression, but recently there was a whole hullabaloo at Columbia. I think you've frozen for me. Oh, you're good. There's a whole hullabaloo at Columbia where a grad student was brought in for interviews, and the process is like you get accepted for interviews, you talk with some of the high ups in the department that you might join as a grad student, and excuse me, if they like you, you get an invitation to be a grad student at the school. So they recently had interviews at Columbia, and one of the female prospective grad students went in, and the first thing that the guy asked was, well, what makes you think that a woman can handle systems neuroscience? And that, I think it's pretty hard to argue, is a micro transgression. I mean, I think there might be an argument, but for the most part, that sounds like you're trying to make them feel bad and you're trying to say it in just the right way. And that using that as a microaggression, yeah, it seems right. But when you just say
Yeah,
the
where if
wrong
he
word,
just said what makes you feel like you would do that, then it feels like I'm asking about you. But when you throw you woman, as if to say
yep,
that somehow makes my whole gender makes me incapable of doing this thing, it feels a certain way. I don't like
yep.
it.
A microtransgression might be, when there's a question, when you're in a science setting and there's a question about design, and you, the PI, immediately look at the one woman in the lab. You weren't ill intentioned, but you fucked up because you were like, oh well, the woman knows how to make things pretty, right? And in your deep subconscious, you made that choice, and you're like, oh, I should talk to the woman about this. Microtransgression. You're not ill-meaning, but you fucked up. But you're
Yeah,
not ill-meaning.
it was sexist, but not in a belittling way. Let's say. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's difficult. So like our builder down here, he
Hmm.
said a few things to me. It's like, I don't know if I could say more clearly what type of woman I am to you. And when I say I was a cabinet builder, I literally mean I built cabinets. I don't
Hmm.
mean I bought cabinets and I painted them and said I built them. I mean, I literally did it, right?
Yep.
And so he sometimes he's gotten to the point where he believes me now on that stuff, but he'll still say weird things like, I said yesterday that I was out with my mom, and he goes, "Were you guys shopping?" And you're like, I'm just like, why would I? No, it wasn't shopping. Why is that the assumption that that's what I'm doing with my mom?
Some people are also just socially inept, and I think that
Yes.
that might be part of that. That you ever talk to somebody? Actually, I know you do because there's people in our family that are like this, where you say something that could prompt a conversation, but their brain doesn't know how to engage in a conversation, and so they merely offer a conjecture or an observation, and then just throw it back at you and like, now you continue the conversation. That you find that a lot in Mississippi. There's a
Huh.
form of communication where you're like, this is not a conversation.
Interesting. Now I have to think about that one. I don't
Oh,
know
are
if
you
I
going to
would
think
view
about
that
it?
as a. I don't know if that's a Mississippi thing. I
It's
would think
not just
that's
in Mississippi. I
more.
just think you see
I
it
feel like
frequently in
it's a,
Mississippi.
a people of a certain age, or
Yes.
possibly with trauma brains. Who?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What's trauma brains are weird, man. Yeah, they don't know how to engage because I don't know.
It's got to be more common than trauma. But this is, I'll say, in social situations, like, I mean, I operate pretty well in social situations, but when I want to articulate the anxiety that I have when I'm forced to have a conversation, my anxiety is literally, what if the conversation becomes one of those conversations and I can't escape? Because it physically pains me to be in these conversations and I don't know how to rescue them. And I worry about it real. Now, if it's with somebody that I don't care about and that I might never see again, I can destroy the conversation. And that's what you and I do very well, Mom, when we're talking out in public, is we just steamroll conversations, or we create conversations, and but there's no social stigma because we there's no stakes to it. But when there's stakes to a conversation and
Yes.
you don't know how to have it and somebody talks like this, it is nails on a chalkboard. It's a nightmare. And
Can you give me an
that's the end of
example
my
of what you
conversation.
mean without being specific about who you're talking about? Like, just can you give me a general?
Yes. So there's two scenarios that I really struggle with right now. So I mean, I am a fundraiser, and
Mhm.
so while theoretically I should be fundraising only by writing and applying for grants, a lot of what I do is I talk to foundations. Now, if I set up a call, I'll set up a call about a topic, and then it's very easy to have that conversation, and it doesn't stress me out at all. However, sort of an expectation of fundraisers that is I'm not doing a good job of fulfilling at all because of this anxiety is going to events for nonprofits and starting conversations with people that might theoretically fund you. So there's stakes, right? Stake
Yes.
is
Money.
potentially these people give us money and potentially they're well connected, all kinds of potentialities. Two, Colin, you need to talk to these people because it's your job. Double stakes. Hate it, and I'm required to have the conversation, and they're all old. And then I go up to them and the forcedness of the conversation and the fact that I know that I need to self censor makes me the essence of an MIT kid. And then that's where the stereotype came from in my last job, where people were like, "Oh, here's Colin, he's socially inept." Was those conversations? I never learned how to talk in censored settings. So
Sorry.
I mean, we weren't allowed to curse for the most part, but
Yeah, until you hit a certain age, then you were.
till we hit a certain age. But we were allowed to say what we thought,
Hmm.
and it gave a lot of freedom. And I mean, it's a better way to be. But if you're going to be a fundraiser, I mean, you can only bullshit. And
I
so,
think you can try to connect with people, but it is hard if you don't have at least a general script of a few, you know, ice breaking questions to get them talking
yeah.
because people like to
Well,
talk.
my way of connecting is, yes, they do. My way of connecting, I've found, is successful in my life, right? But it's only possible if I allow for some probability of people hating me. Like, you know, my, I'm very forward. But it works, and I create great friends from it. However, I'm in a scenario where the stakes of somebody hating me are enormous. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
gee, because usually I'd go up to them and be like, oh, I try and identify off of a similar hatred, or make them feel comfortable because of how candid I am. And those methods work in normal interpersonal situations, but not in this. The other scenario I think about all the time was Rush for my fraternity at MIT. Is constantly the Rush chairs would come up to you and be like, "Go talk to that kid." Immediately, I can't do it. As soon as you tell me to talk to someone, uh, how?
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to just go and just talk. It would be easier if you're like, hey, do you want to play some pool with me? Or something like that. If you had an activity around the conversation, it would probably be easier if you were while you're rushing anyway.
Yeah,
Over, hey, bud, how you doing?
totally. Well, it's also that I feel like people can see through me as soon as that happens, because I'm talking to them because somebody wants me to do it, or because I want something from them, which is why it's so hard to talk to nonprofits. Is like, I feel like I'm talking to them and they know that I'm a slimy little fundraiser that wants all of their money, which is true.
I don't think
But
fundraisers are inherently slimy.
Well, I don't either.
I don't think I view fundraisers that way. I think there's, I don't know, maybe because I view them differently than salespeople. I mean, I guess you are still doing sales of a sort, but you're trying to bring somebody to a nonprofit. So there's a certain amount of, altruism. You've got good intentions. You want to bring light to this
Yeah.
thing. So I guess I view fundraising a little bit differently because of the nonprofit aspect. It's showing that you care about something.
Well, and it helps that I honestly do believe in what we do at Make 48, but it's still, and so that, yes, that definitely helps, but I still feel like I want your money, and I'm trying to convince you that you should give me your money, and that's a weird way to talk. And everyone's always like, well, people give you money if you create a relationship with them. I'm like, that's the worst relationship ever. If you're starting it for strategic purposes, that relationship sucks. But there's some people that grew up their whole lives creating relationships for those reasons. And so a relationship for any other reason is foreign. I am not that person.
I feel that. No, I get you. But I also think that if you're at a thing like, if you're at an event where fundraising is part of it, they know that that's part of the picture. They're just seeing if you are the person they want to give their money to, or do they want to give it to somebody else? Is what you're doing helpful to them in some way, or does it align with their belief system? So I do feel like it's a little bit different at events like that,
Yeah.
Because I think people do want a certain amount of tax write-offs or whatever, depending on what are you doing? Are you really looking at yourself? You're back and forth with your face?
I'm just noticing how crooked my nose is.
They have one of those filters now. Have you seen it where it'll take half of your face and it'll show it to you, and then you look totally messed up?
I look gorgeous in them except for my nose. It's that my face is hella symmetrical, and then my nose is like wham 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 wham.
I don't think your nose is not straight.
It's not. It's definitely not. I am Dad's
I got
son.
2 different size nostrils, so
that makes sense.
Don't look at them.
I do too. I have 2 different sizes, but it's because it's tilted. It's because it's so far. Nope, this way. It's so far this way.
I don't think I've ever. Well, when you do that, it's gorgeous, Colin. It's very gorgeous. So, how you feeling today? How you feeling?
Good. I just got back from court. I was not a witness or a defendant or a victim or any of that. Just observing. It was pretty fun. Some advice for any future witnesses out there: when the lawyer asks you a question, answer the question that they asked. If you don't want to seem like a dickhead. Now, the reason I bring this up is because today the one witness kept hearing the question and then going, I know what you really want, and then answering a different fucking question. And it made everyone in the court despise her. And so I don't think, and I feel, I mean, listen, I have just about zero sympathy for the defendant in this case. However, let's say he was innocent, which I don't believe, but let's say he was. If my star witness, which is who this person was, came and offered up that performance, I would start questioning the justice system, because surely that witness knew some things and facts, but how is it possible for a jury to deliberate on those facts when the person presenting them is so goddamn unlikable? So that's rough. That is rough. And it really was their star witness. And she perjured herself. It was not good. So
she perjured herself.
Oh my God. It was rough. Yeah. Well,
I wasn't expecting that turn.
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting it either. She thought she was being clever, which is kind of unfortunate. But this always happens in all cases, right? A bunch of the witnesses have a bias, and they want a result in the trial, which there's no way to avoid it. Excuse me. Some are friends of the victim, some are friends of the defendant. That'll happen. This person wanted the defendant to be found not guilty. Probably still wants. Excuse me. I just am a burp factory right now.
It's
So
gorgeous.
she thought she was being clever, and usually what these witnesses will do is when there's certain facts that might not be convenient, they'll say, I don't recall. And I think that she heard that and was like, I'm gonna do that. But it came off so bad because when she wanted a fact that would fit her side of the narrative, she was like, there's absolutely no way anything else happened. I will, I'll categorically deny any evidence against it. I will, like, this is exactly what happened. And it was 4.5 years ago, and I remember it to a T. And then they would ask things that happened like 7 days ago. I don't recall. And it was, she could be very, very specific with exact words that people said 4 years ago. And then 1 week ago, they're like, who was it that you talked to a week ago? I don't recall. Oh, well, you're a fucking liar. Now, that's not enough to perjure yourself. Even that. I mean, everyone in the room knows you're a liar, which makes your
Right.
testimony basically useless because the jury does evaluate whether or not they trust you, whether or not you've perjured yourself. But then they asked her if she had been served a subpoena in the immediate aftermath of the event. And she said no. And then the prosecutor was like, so if we showed you evidence that a subpoena was served, would that jog your memory? And she was like, no, I don't recall. I'd never, and just stuck with the story. But the whole point of a subpoena is that you can prove it in court. So an officer of the court is sent to subpoena you and to verify that you received it. And
Mm-hmm.
so but she refused to budge off the story, even with evidence presented. And so they were like, is it possible that the reason you don't remember that you're often subpoenaed, which is a hilarious question to ask, right?
It
And
is.
yeah, but it's kind of a snarky question, being like, I know
Definitely.
what you're up to, kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And she said, no, I've never, I'm not often subpoenaed. And essentially the whole room had to ask, like, okay, how is it that you don't remember a cop knocking on your door where your kids live days after your boyfriend is in jail? How do you not remember that? But you remember like exactly what times you called the Ubers. You remember exactly what time your alarm went off, and it conflicts with prior testimony. Anyway, I think they expected the trial to end today, but because of how bad her testimony was, I think that the prosecution is going to call the cops that talked to this witness in order to prove that she perjured herself and get all of her stuff off the record. Anyway, the defense's entire case is based on this witness. So that is rough.
Yeah. What kind of prep did they give her? I mean, they must have given her something. I don't
They
know.
must have given her something, but man, the prosecutor, which the defense is definitely more well paid than the prosecutor. Prosecutor fucked her up. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
And did it by the book. It was pretty cool to see. Courtrooms are crazy. And the drama is nuts. And I've been thinking about this a lot, that there's so many big issues and so much more of politics has become about morals and philosophy and people discussing their opinions on how things should be. But it's very different to see it in an individual case and see the real story. And I think that that's being missed a little bit by opinion articles in the big newspapers and stuff. Uh, it's just this one case, I feel like, is its own story. And I want to see more of those stories because it's as interesting as any drama to see it
You should.
unfold in front of you.
You can start doing the typety type with it if you've got
That's why I'm
feelings about
there.
stuff.
That's why I'm there, trying to
Are
develop a
you
little
ready?
portfolio. Yeah. I was taking notes the whole time.
Oh, cool.
The concept is, so there's the first concept that I was going there for was a I was so excited about the movie 12 Angry Men because I
Hmm.
just loved it so much that I thought, what if you did like a modern version that was inspired by 12 Angry Men? So obviously, don't remake the movie's great. I'm not remaking the movie, but
Hmm.
similar format, one long scene, all in the jury deliberations, but called A Jury of His Peers, which takes some of the tropes from 12 Angry Men, like uh, juror two realizes that he's prosecuting the defendant in 12 Angry Men. He realizes he's prosecuting him because of the similarities between him and his son. Uh, and that's, you could so take that trope and put it into a sexual assault trial scenario play and have a jury of his peers. It's all men that are on the jury, the sexual assault trial. And you have somebody realize that maybe they've done something bad in their past, and you have it's also realistic because the selection of a jury does tend to eliminate a lot of women in sexual assault trials because one of the first things they ask is, do you have personal experience with this? Uh, and a lot of people do. So, so yeah, that was the first concept I went there with. Then I became interested in the actual trial, and I was like, there's a story here just in that if you look up the New York sexual assault laws and rape laws, you can find articles about them in theory, right? And you can find some anecdotal articles about specific stuff. But when you see it in practice, when you see a sexual assault trial where the defense's argument is that their defendant did sexually assault someone, just not under the definition of the law, that's disturbing. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the story that I want to put out there. It's like, you know, Ryan Backus's defense. She was blackout, so I couldn't have raped her. I mean, that's rough.
Yeah.
That is rough.
No. Yeah, it is rough. Listen, I want to see you write something spectacular. So, if you've got passion for it now, man, you need to start scratching it out. Scritchy, scratch, scratch, scratch. Tippy, type, type, type. Want to see it. Want to see
Okay.
it. Do what your mom
Okay.
says. Get it done.
Okay.
Okay, mom.
Okay. Uh,
What else should we talk about?
I don't know. How many viewers do we have? Ooh, one.
0. It's me.
That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about.
It's the
Uh,
best.
what else should we talk about? Hmm.
I'm stressed.
About what?
Pick a topic. Everything. Hey, I have to tell you something stupid.
Okay.
Like normally this would be one of those topics that you'd be like, you're not allowed to talk about this topic, or you're gonna have to be a spoon pirate topic.
Trump.
So no, not Trump. No. So the my ex employer texted me today. So the postmaster from back in Roy texted me today to show me the schedule that just came out for the Amazon delivery people on Sunday. He thought
Uh-huh.
I would appreciate how stupid it was.
Okay.
And I said, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And then I proceeded to recount the dream that I had a few days ago, that I had just come back from a long vacation and was back at the post office working. Suddenly they've created a new route and I'm going to be the one delivering it. I don't know this route, but I'm going to be delivering it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody seems to care that might stress me out. Who cares? This is what you're doing. And then they have also moved all of the mail vehicles to some other location from where they normally are. So I have to figure out where my mail truck is because I don't know where it is. And nobody seems bothered by anything going on. It's just a lot of just weirdness. I'm dropping stuff on the ground. I'm having a meltdown. I haven't even gotten to a mail truck yet. And I'm already having an anxiety attack in my dream. And I say
Yep.
to myself, why am I having this attack for a job I don't even have anymore? It's been months. It's been months. And I tell this to him, to which he says, back in 1997, when his own father was a mail carrier, the last day that he was a mail carrier, he had this dream, and then every 6 months after, he continued to have this dream where he was out in his mail truck. He has delivered his last piece of mail. He climbs back in the truck, and there's another fistful of mail that he has to go deliver. So he's like, oh, shoot, I thought I was done. Now he goes to deliver that mail. He gets back in the truck again. Here's another fistful. Just the endless fistfuls of mail that just kept showing up. And I'm like, you don't think this is the kind of job that's going to destroy your psyche, but it is,
Yep.
And so that was one sort of stupid stressor. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. I thought I was done. And then it's back. It's back. Get away.
I got into a little bit of an argument with somebody at the post office yesterday.
How'd that go?
All right. I bought contact lenses recently, and I accidentally bought twice as many as I need. And so
Okay.
I'm returning the contact lenses. And I'm not a college student, but I do live the life of a college student. And so I only have one kind of tape, and that is painter's tape. And so when I printed out my return label, I taped it on with painter's tape, but I know painter's tape is not tape. So I essentially wrapped the entire box in painter's tape. And it's so much. And I brought it up to the counter, and the guy goes, I'm not taking that. And I go, I think you are, but please elaborate. And he goes, that's not tape. And I go, I beg you to reconsider. It is tape. Are you saying it's not good tape? And he's like, yeah, you don't know how easy that stuff comes off. I was like, okay. Do you have tape I could use? He's like, nope. We sell tape. Okay. How do you want to proceed from here? I have this box with a return label for you. It's taped on here with a mile of painter's tape. I'm not going to buy a roll of tape right now. Are you saying I can't send my package? And he says, no, you can. I'm just not taking it. All right. I love a good riddle, but what do you mean? And he's like, you can put it over there. Thanks, man. Like, we gotta, okay. So I put it he just told me to put it in the box. Also, why can't I use some tape, man? I don't know. He was on a power trip or something.
I will answer the questions for you.
Okay,
so
cool.
They don't want to encourage people to use their tape because, it's not yours, it's theirs. So they want you to buy the tape. So he's not just going to give you, if it was like one piece, then maybe you could convince him. But, he was probably been told, no, man, you can't just let people use all the tape. The second thing, the reason he wouldn't take it from you is he doesn't want his scan on it saying he accepted that messed up packages, that when it breaks and is all over the place, he doesn't want his name associated in any way or responsible for it, because they know exactly who accepted that package. They know exactly who put the scan on it. He didn't want any part of being responsible for it. So,
hey, man, that sounds so reasonable. Why don't you say those words to me instead of sending me on a fucking epic journey through language? Yo, hey, I can't scan that because it's affiliated with my name and I'm worried it'll break, but you can put it in the box right there. Or you can buy tape and tape it and then I'll take it. Fantastic. Hey, guess what? You gave me all the information I need and I'm going to go put it in the box because I don't care at all. Yeah, give me a break.
You're like, I don't give a shit. I put it in the box. It didn't get there. I don't care.
It weighs 0 pounds. So I don't think anything's, there's no pressure that is pushing the thing. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. Also, there's so much masking tape on it. And it was like weaved under and over. Bro, it's getting to the destination. I'm pretty sure you could throw it against a wall 1,000 times. And it would still have the label on it. It's going to be fine.
It's probably going to be fine.
It's probably going to be fine. But I'm fine with that guy not scanning it. I got no beef. It was just the way he was communicating with me. It was like he thought I was a postal worker. I don't know how this works, dude. I was given a return label by a company, And they said, bring it here. And I said, will do. And then I met this guy who doesn't know how to communicate. These motherfuckers.
Well, they don't want to tell you all the secrets.
I don't know. Hey, I'm not asking for secrets. I'm just asking for you to tell me what to do because you work here.
Yeah. Give me some direction.
I've got this problem at a lot of like food establishments around us too, where the line system is only known by people who visit all the time, and they've never marked it down. So you've just got to guess where the line begins, right? And there's actually a location that I like a lot now, and now I know the line system is not a problem. But the very beginning, right? I wait in a line to get a salad, and it's like a 15-minute long line. People love this place. And I get to the front and I ask for a salad, and they go, well, why did you wait in the line? It's a salad. I go, well, because
that's what people do. If they want food, they get in the line.
It's a line. So all these people that came here before me thought they would order first. And he's like, well, you're not in the salad line. Hey, did you write down salad line somewhere? Oh, guess I didn't care to invent it. Jesus. So, but then I said it like that to him, and then he liked me.
You said it like that to him?
Probably not. I do talk like that to people.
Where's the salad line? How do I know where the salad line is?
Okay. Why are you talking to me like this? Do I work here? All right. You come to my place of business and I start being like, oh, how do I do my job? Make me a fucking salad. I'll give you money to make me a salad. I'll give you so much money. Please. I just want some arugula.
Oh my God. Have you thought about making them a sign and handing it to them so that they can have the sign? Salad line.
I think they'd find that very funny.
Yeah. Look, I made you a salad line sign. I put some holes in it so you can put hooks on it and hang it from the ceiling with a big arrow that says right here.
Maybe not even, just a sign that's like, unless you're ordering a sandwich, you don't need to be in this long fucking line, you know? Oh, do you need cold cut meats? Go over there. There's a guy that does that. Over there is all the things that aren't sandwiches. This is the sandwich line.
Wait, are they hot sandwiches? Why is there a different line for sandwiches? So hot sandwiches here, not hot sandwiches.
And to be clear, what we're talking about here is a counter with nothing that creates a line. There's no rope. There's no spots on the ground to prevent you from spreading COVID to the back of someone's neck. There's nothing like that. What happens is there's a bunch of people behind the counter, and then at some point, somebody who's at the counter is standing there, and somebody who also wants a sandwich steps behind them, and that's where the line is that day. That's where it happens. And so you have to be so brazen to go in there the first time and go, that line doesn't apply to me. I mean, I do want something from that counter, but I'm special boy, don't want hot sandwich. So I guess I am better than all of these people. What did he want from me?
Oh, I agree.
What kind of a society does he live in?
Yeah, and you and I are the kind of people who have said to people as they've just wandered ahead of us in line, pretending that we weren't there. We're the kind of people who have said, you see us here, right?
You know, it's crazy we're bringing this up. There was a line to get into the courthouse today, because they have to like scan so you don't bring a gun into the courthouse, logically, right?
Sure.
Pretty long line because all the courts open at the same time, but it goes relatively fast. I get second behind the next person to go in, and then this suit wearing ass dude passes the whole line and then steps in front of the guy in front of me. And the guy in front of me is like, hey, I think that the line to get in starts behind me. And the dude gets so offended and is like, I have a clear pass. And we all look at each other and we go, we don't professionally go to court. So we don't know what that is. And you could be making that up. But how confident you were saying you have a clear pass makes me think you know something, but also fuck you. And that was the energy of the whole line. Anyway, he did have a clear pass and it was a real thing. Put it on something.
Yeah, clear passes. Go through here, not just cut in front of people.
The court needs more ropes, okay? More rope. This is a society.
More ropes.
More ropes in court and
And
signs.
and at the deli where you're getting your sandwich.
And at the deli. I just
I need
don't,
your salad.
Yeah. And then these oh my gosh. This is a whole line of anger for me, I've just realized. Recently, we went to a bar and it had a sign outside that said, "Please wait here to be seated." And all of us, like good little boys and girls, were like, "All right, we'll wait here." Then the waitress comes out and they go, "Why are you out here? It's cold." "Why did you put a sign out here?"
Did you guys
She's
ask
like,
why the sign's out there?
"What?" We just said we did it because of the sign, and she was like, "That's hilarious." We're like,
Why
"We're
is
just
that
making
hilarious?
signs now? We're just making signs?"
Should we throw the sign on the ground now? Because that's what I
It's
would have done if she said that's hilarious. I would have thrown it on the ground.
it's yeah. It's one thing to have an expectation but no sign, but to have a sign and not have the expectation expressed by the sign.
Yes, it's devious.
It's devious,
It's a, it's a,
and I won't stand for it.
yeah.
Except
I
for
mean, you
their
did stand
wings were
for it
really good.
outside.
Hey, Dad, Mom made one.
Hey, he's outside. He can't hear
Good old
you.
dad joke. Oh well,
It wasn't a dad joke. It was perfect.
it was 100% a dad joke.
What? It was just a joke. It's a mom joke because it came out of a mom. All right. Who cares? Who cares?
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about other than my hatred of lying?
I don't know. Should we talk about my problems, which are not real?
Yep. We can. We did actually say we were going to talk about them, and then we just kind of
Didn't.
shot the breeze, but with a capital H.
Yep, we didn't. We didn't talk about them. I don't even know if I should talk about them. I don't know. It's just weird.
You should follow your
So,
heart.
I'll talk about it. I have been, we started our little show whenever we started it. It was summertime.
Last year. Yep.
And because of that, I ended up on John Yates' show. I was his moderator already. We gave it a go. Everything's going lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And then a big weird fallout happens on his show between moderators and other panelists, we'll say. And it's making me feel weird on a number of levels.
Yep.
Part of what's making me feel weird is people having a positive response to me. It has made a lot of people feel like they need to come to my defense and say, she's great. She's the voice of reason. She's all of this stuff, which is very nice, but is also very weird and can make a person uncomfortable because they aren't used to that. You know what I mean? It's like,
weird to be
no.
spoken for.
Well, not really spoken for, but just to them, for them to have such a positive response, you feel like, do I now owe you? Do I owe you appreciation? Do I owe you to continue to be who this person who I've come off as?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do I have a responsibility to be this voice of reason all of the time? I hope not. I like to be ridiculous too. But I don't like fighting with people. I mean, I do like fighting with people, but I don't like fighting with people. I don't want to really be in fights with people. I don't mind like a little bit of, give and take, a little bit of elbow jab, or let's really get to the heart of something. Let's get to the meats and potatoes. Let's really talk this out. What I don't like is, somebody just really being vehemently, you did this thing to me. I don't want to talk to you ever. We're not talking. There will be no discussion. End of story. Nah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. But I'm okay with, I'm okay with it to the point of I will respect that that's what you want. But
yep.
but it's not fun. It's just like you feel sort of left in a situation that you couldn't resolve, and it gives you a little heart, a little sore heart, a little hearty hurt.
Well, you've kind of been robbed of your power too, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's like, well, I mean, I could defend myself, but it does nothing, right? There's no good. There's no what's the
Yeah.
objective in defending yourself? You know, if the person's not willing to hear it, then I might as well be shouting at a cloud, because while I might get a certain amount of the fan base on my side, which is certainly nice, the person who I would want to have the conversation with isn't willing to have it with me. So, you know, what's the goal? What's my objective? I think about that a lot. What's the goal and what's the objective? I think about that. I think more than most people do.
Yep.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, I just think when you go into things, you should know what you're doing. We went into today with very loose plans, and here we are talking about random shit. But that was kind of the plan, because last week felt weird. You know, this week feels weird too in a different way. But we're going to find our footing. It feels a little weird.
I think it's fine.
Maybe because it's not a topic. So that's the other struggle. What do we want this show to be? What's the objective? Do I need to keep my eye on that? Do we need to be laser focused on that? Or is this just me talking to my son online? And that's the whole objective, is that we're having a conversation and we're letting other people watch. What's the goal?
Okay. What's the goal? I think the goal is the fun and the creation of something together, and that we're creating something that we both like, and that, you know, that encapsulates you and I's relationship. I think that's fun, and that's what we want. And that to me is the objective. Now, would it be cool to have an audience for this? I think so. But I think a little bit of what we're realizing, or at least what you're seeing and I'm observing from afar, is that there are different kinds of audiences, and everyone has a way that they interact with their audiences differently, and it colors the expectations. And so I think the only situation in which we would want an audience, in fact, I think I would probably prefer to have no audience to having the wrong kind of audience. The only kind of audience I want is the kind that just wants to listen to us because they enjoy us, right? There's a number of podcasts that I listen to, like I listen to Dungeons and Daddies. There's no controversy. I don't give a single fuck about the lives of the people that are in it. I like listening to them in the podcast. And and if they have beef with fucking Justin Bieber, I don't give a shit. I want an audience of people that give a shit about the content, and they maybe like us, but they like us in the context of the podcast. And maybe, you know, in a dream scenario, they would then also like us on our hit HBO Max TV show, Sperm Donor. Wait,
why is it called Sperm Donor?
The working title, but it's the TV show, the comedy sitcom that Patrick Dent and I have written a pilot for, and I've told you about it briefly, but basically, me and one of my best friends, Patrick Dent, discovered that there was a sperm bank near us, and that you could make unbelievable money at this sperm bank because we were MIT students. Now, did I donate to it? No, but we investigated it, and we were like, this is crazy. But then we came up with this sitcom that was based upon our real futures, which are kind of hilariously occurring, which is Patrick would be kind of a well-off broker consultant, and I would be a preschool teacher. And then a few years in the future, who comes in but a hello? Hey, we're so glad to have you, and I love you.
She's got the Puerto Rican flag on, so.
And I love your Puerto Rican flag, and I'm sure you can tell visually, but we got a little Puerto Rican heritage. Just look at our faces. We're the most clearly Puerto Rican people on earth, and the way we speak and our names. Well, actually, your name, but
My name is.
uh,
Yeah,
your name's good. Colin bringt Vaseline. Maybe not so much,
I
but
know.
uh,
Could we have given you a more German name?
yeah, we all know that my real name should have been Vasilios, but we messed up. Should have been Vasilios.
Basilios? I don't know if it would be
Vasilios.
Basilios.
Hey man, if my name was Vasilios, I'd be a straight up player. There's no way, there's no way to counteract it. Your name is Vasilios, you're beating a mafia. Anyway, uh,
Okay.
uh,
Anyway,
yes,
on the
the
show, you're a
sitcom.
preschool teacher.
I'm a
Okay.
preschool teacher, and who comes in? But this kid that it just reminds me of my friend, right? And my friend and I are out to dinner, and I'm like, this kid just came into my class, and she just reminds me of you. She just reminds me of you, and we kind of go, oh, you're you're a sperm donor, ha 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 ha, like maybe. And then parent teacher conferences come around, lesbian parents. Suddenly we're like, this is your fucking kid, right? It's got to be your kid. It's 100% your kid. So then we're trying to investigate it, and just everything lines up. And eventually, of course, we discover this is Patrick Dent's, my friend's sperm donor baby, and she is in my preschool class. Hilarious, right? And we're like, how do we deal with this? And this is nuts. And then, in a classic sitcom twist, lesbian parents die in a car crash.
Oh, no.
And so Patrick Dent and I have got to get married to adopt this preschooler. So we have to convince people that we are 100% gay and not getting married just for this. And we have to keep under wraps that this is actually Patrick's kid, because there's all kinds of weird laws about your sperm donor child. But we're like, this is your kid, right? So the whole concept of it is that all kinds of hijinks ensue because we're trying to adopt this kid. So we have to keep up appearances that we are really a gay couple, but we're both very straight men. I have a girlfriend, so there's going to be an episode of convincing my girlfriend of this plan. That
Okay.
this is the sitcom.
How do I fit into this sitcom?
You're my mom.
On the sitcom or in real life?
I
Both.
Well, I mean, I assume I'm the sitcom.
Oh, okay.
You're also my mom in real life.
Oh, that too. Yeah. That too. Okay. I mean, I would love to play your mom on a sitcom. In real life, I already do. So, but I don't know how that would occur. Have you seen Bosom Buddies? It's from like the 80s or 70s. Maria, great job. He's a cutie pie. Isn't he cute?
You can tell in this dark, dark room that I'm cute.
I mean, you're pretty handsome. Pretty handsome.
It shines through.
Ooh, so very handsome boy. Very handsome boy.
I'm now lit up by my computer. A little bit too bright, actually.
So you need to watch Bosom Buddies. It's
Okay.
not the exact same concept, but it's not the same concept at all. I've lost track of why I'm suggesting Bosom Buddies. So Bosom Buddies, Tom Hanks is in it as a very young man, and him and his roommate, they're moving into an apartment building that is only for women, which is apparently used to be a thing. But it's good prices. They need to get in here. So they both masquerade as women roommates. So they're female roommates. So they're always in, it's not really drag, but they're dressed as women all of the time. And then they also have female, they have girlfriends who don't know that at first that they are these two other people who are also their friends. So it's very confusing. It's a weird triangle of nonsense.
Well, that would be good inspiration.
Yeah, go watch some Bosom Buddies.
Well, I'm on the right path, right? Because I work for a TV show, so get in contact with the network. Now, do I really think that this show is PBS material? No, not
PBS.
Not exactly what they do, but we're involved. We know Roku, so one day I'll get a pitch meeting and be like,
sure.
So the concept is sperm donation.
I mean, it's. I think sitcoms these days, there's not that many of them, and they do definitely still have kind of that. Listen, what you're proposing is a little ridiculous. It's a little, it's silly, and I think sitcoms these days do have a little bit of that element to them. Otherwise, they become, there's dark comedies. There's more of the dramatic things that have a little comedic twist going on. But like true old school sitcoms with a laugh track sounds like what you're proposing.
Yep.
Which are
no, definitely no laugh track, but yes, an old school sitcom.
Yeah.
Laugh tracks make me angry.
Why do laugh tracks make you angry?
Because I don't like them.
Well, that's not a good answer.
I mean, I would be okay with in front of a live studio audience.
Ooh.
But
so then if the jokes don't land, it's like, these are the
then
jokes,
they don't
people.
Land. But these fake laugh tracks, and I know the stats behind laugh tracks too. But I'm thinking more of a Modern Family energy.
Okay, they don't have a laugh track. Okay.
They don't have a laugh track, but still that goofy energy.
Yeah.
Or like I mean, this is a little bit more out there, kind of dirty, but the Comedy Central show Broad City, you ever watch? Also no laugh track, but completely insane storylines. I think I'm feeling that energy with it,
Does that have a laugh track?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying it did have one. I was like,
I'm naming ones that don't have laugh tracks to say,
oh, okay.
Here are examples of sitcoms that we would kind of draw on as inspiration that don't have laugh tracks, that also have these kind of ridiculous, kitschy sitcom storylines.
Yeah.
But it would be more serialized than most comedies. So that's something to think about.
I guess I don't understand why you need to get married to Patrick Dent in this scenario.
I suppose, well, he doesn't have a girlfriend at the time, I don't think. So he doesn't have somebody to get married to. And it's a big ask to marry, to adopt as a single straight male in his 20s. That's going to bring up a lot of flags in those adoption meetings. But
yes,
if you're engaged and this just happened, right? And it's in your fiance's class and you want to do something right? There's like a little bit more like, oh, okay. Maybe.
All right. What else did I have to ask you? Something else. I've lost it. It flew away. It's gone.
Ooh, we could do a little bit of a controversial. Ideas are flowing in my head right now. That a little bit of an episode where, okay, so here's a question: the dead parents' families, right? Do they want to adopt? Maybe there's some pray the gay away Christians that want to adopt this kid, and now we're worried about the kid being adopted in like a family that certainly that had disowned the girl's parents and was going to tell the girl terrible things about her parents and stuff. And it's a terrible future reality. And we're trying to save her from that too, by being fake homosexuals.
Okay.
It's problematic.
I know what I wanted to ask you. You said that this is that you and Patrick Dent really did find a sperm donor location that would pay extra for MIT sperm.
Yep.
What were they going to pay?
So you were able to do 2 donations a week. The first one was $75. The second one was $300.
$75?
$75 and then $300.
Why does it go up?
Because they want you donating just a lot all at once, I guess.
Oh.
It's to try and keep you just coming in regularly. But you do get cut out. It's not like an infinite, like you can do it for until you're 30. There's a point at which legally they have to stop you, and it's the number of kids that you've created. And I will say, P. Dent and I, neither of us have kids out there. However, one of our friends, because it was like all of us found out about this at the same time, and we were all like, it was like just before the summer, and we're like, this is rent. I mean, this is so much money.
Because it's per week, right? That's what you could get per week.
It's per week, and on average, you can do it for like 9 months a year, right? But one of our friends went through. Also, one of our friends found out he was sterile from it. That was kind of depressing. But one of our friends did it, And we know for a fact that he has 40 kids out there running
No,
around.
no.
40.
Do I know him?
40.
Have I met him?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, darn. I'm going to
40
pretend it's
kids.
Michael in my mind.
So 40 is what? It's not Michael. It is not Michael. No. In fact, I think I remember telling Michael about it and him having an immediate, like, absolutely not reaction. Why would I do that, Colin?
He
Colin,
has
I love
40
you because you're
kids
so
out there?
crazy. 40 kids. So that's the level that you get to where they're like, all right, we're reaching a mass where there's some concern that they might meet and fuck each other. So 40 is where we're like, that's definitely not going to happen.
That's a lot. I don't think I would have guessed. What did his bio look like? Was he on the crew team or on one of the
He
sports
was
teams?
on the crew team. He was on the crew
Okay.
team. He's got,
So he wasn't
he's like
just smart, he
over
was
6 feet
athletic.
tall, very athletic, pretty good looking. There's no personality test, so they didn't get that on him. See, kind of sucked. But yeah, no, yeah, good looking, athletic, smart,
Trifecta.
blonde. Yeah,
Quadfecta. I don't know.
they wouldn't let one of my other friends do it because he was too short.
Oh, there was a
Yeah.
height requirement.
Well, it's not explicitly said, but there was the mixture of different factors about him made him an undesirable match. So, which is to say that he was short, skinny, and Asian. Combination of all of
Aw.
those. Yeah, that shit's whack.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Short king. Oh well. I'm sure he's doing
They
well now
told
though.
me that I would be accepted, so not to brag, but I'm good enough for the sperm bank.
Well, how far into the process did you get? Like, did you get your swimmers checked? Did you get to that point?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you know that they work.
We're not shooting blanks, baby. Let's go.
Not that it matters right now, but still, it's good to know.
Yeah, long term. I want kids, but
So you
not,
went to
not right
that
now.
part and then said no. And you said, nah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it got really real all of a sudden. It was like, oh, this is funny and so much money, and then there was just this moment where I was like, I don't think I can. Well, and that's when they tell you that at 18 they can legally request information about you and request to contact you. I was like, okay, if I have 40, I mean, multiple of them are going to reach out to me. That's just going to happen. So I was like, I don't know if I can handle that. And like, I mean, what if at that point I have a 10-year-old kid and there's somebody knocking on my door? It's like, hey, I'm your half brother. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Saying that to your child who answered the door. Is that the scenario?
To my child, yeah. Like,
Okay.
oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's not your half brother. That's just someone that you legally cannot have sex with. So get away. But
I mean, oh wow, man.
yeah,
What if
it
they
got
walked in the door and they looked exactly like you? You would be like, oh,
yeah. Well, probably they're selecting it so that they look like one of the parents. I would assume.
right.
But
If there are two parents, yes.
yeah,
It's
crazy.
The fact that one of your friends had 40 already
Mm-hmm.
is crazy.
Oh, it was so fast. It was.
How many donations did he make?
One donation can create multiple pregnancies.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So they'll take that and they'll break it into little usable, manageable bits.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a little for you. Here's a little for you. Here's a little for you.
And then
Or
they'll
they
take the
literally
turkey baster.
fertilize each egg. I guess they only just need one little dude and they'll just go bloink into the egg.
If they're
Bloink.
doing that kind of insemination, but it's not always that kind of
I'm pretty sure
insemination.
that's the way they do it too. They just go bloink. That's very technical. It's very medical.
The number of donations is mostly so that you have samples available at the time that somebody wants to get pregnant, because
Okay,
they degrade. So,
sure.
so yeah.
But they didn't get 40 out of that one, right? Do
No.
you think? He gave
Well,
multiples.
oh yeah, yeah. No. He did it for like 9 months.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I definitely don't have one. Just throwing it out there that the first one was not eligible to be thrown up somebody. So,
That doesn't, you shouldn't say it like that. Just thrown up somebody. They just threw it up there.
ching, like pitching a softball underhand.
Ugh. No, that's not nice.
Yep.
Don't do that. There are nerve endings down there, in case people didn't know. You shouldn't just be lobbing at stuff at it or poking sharp instruments at it. Just saying. The medical profession needs to do better. No? Are you frozen? No, that's just your face. I just thought we should bring it around to the lady parts now that we've talked about the man parts. All the IUD insertions that have been done over the years without
Yeah,
any
we
sort
talked
of
about that.
anesthesia.
Oh wait, no, we talked about that before the episode.
We did.
Have
I
you ever
actually
been
know
told
nothing
that the
about
way that you and I communicate is somewhat irregular?
it. Well, I don't know who I'm having conversations with to make that matter. So,
It's
who
true.
would be who would be saying that to me? I don't know. I'm just saying. Listen, I've never had an IUD, but TikTok is really educating me on how people are treated during it, and it threw me for a loop because it does seem very obvious to me that women's organs are on the inside of their body. So why are we assuming that
Most
we
people's
should?
organs.
You're right, but I mean, if it's a contraceptive device that you put inside somebody. I guess
Yep.
I would have always assumed that there would have been some form of anesthesia involved. That we wouldn't just expect somebody to
Just like with
just,
tampons, right?
but they're nothing like tampons, are they?
I'm just saying. Well, your evidence was it's put inside of your body, so it's put further up. Fine.
It's
It's also
also
much
a
smaller than a
completely
tampon.
different shape. It's a different shape. It's medical equipment. The idea that medical equipment would be put into your body and you should just hold your breath, I guess, is crazy to
I
me.
think these were so. I'm. I'll take the opposing here. A lot of IUDs are killer. Uh, People loved them at MIT. People would actively campaign for them to their friends. Like it felt like a revelation, the existence of IUDs. So, and for the most part, what I heard was that, you know, it was like getting it taken out sucks. And usually that needs some anesthesia. But getting it put up there is like a pinch and then it's done.
Yeah, you should see what it really is. It can be, listen, this is the other important thing is that pain exists on a spectrum,
Of
as
course,
does the shape of your body, right? Not everybody's body, not the angles, all of it is not the same. So you're not all going to have the same experience. Some people pass out getting an IUD inserted. So
totally.
there was this belief though that women apparently did not have nerve endings down there. And it's like, why would you think we don't have nerve endings down there?
Well, that's pretty weird. That is pretty weird.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you become a medical professional and not know that we have nerve endings all over the
Well,
place?
there's also medical professionals that think that like uh, circumcisions are like positive medical procedures. So clearly, misinformation gets propagated all all over the medical field. Some people
True.
think that a lot of medical professionals think that depression is like not enough dopamine. Fucking stupid.
Well, even if it was that, there's a reason for it, right? So maybe we should. I don't know.
Well, but it's not. And so even going down the line, it's just like, oh, depression's just a chemical imbalance. Hey, words are just a bunch of sounds. I mean,
shut the fuck up. I just
So what are you saying depression is? Depression is not a chemical imbalance?
It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. Uh, and we don't know is the best that I can really give you. We don't know. We really, really want to know. And doctors really want to convince you that they definitely know. And they've gotten so good at it that they've convinced themselves that they know, and they do not. So hold your horses, doctors. Most antidepressants they were just like, well, this is it was for something else. And they were like, oh, we noticed the symptom of people are less depressed. Let's not read into it any further. and and sometimes less depressed is just they feel dumber or they feel less emotions overall. Which let's not even read it. Let's not even get into, is that better? Look, plenty of people feel better on antidepressants. Let's not look into the long-term negative effects of antidepressants. These motherfuckers, man. Medicine has gotten a lot better, of course. But mental health medicine?
Not better. Only a little bit better.
Un poquito. A little bit.
That's how I feel about gynecology. It feels barbaric to me. The whole concept feels crazy. What is this duck-billed contraption that you have inserted, and then you're just opening stuff up and then looking? What are you doing in there? Get out of there! No. The only thing good that's happened, in my opinion, over the last decade or so, is that instead of saying that we need to do that yearly, they've moved it to every 3 years. Because why you need to look up there every year? Get out of here. Get out of here. Go away. The other thing, you do hear a lot of stories about how if a woman goes to the doctor, they say things like, well, are you pregnant? Are you on your period? This is just hormones, They do not believe anything's really wrong with you. It's either that or you need to lose weight, right? Not, hey, I think I broke my leg. Oh, are you pregnant? Oh, you probably need to lose weight. How about you just x-ray my leg and see what's going on, please? You know what I mean? It's obviously that's an extreme example. That sounds ridiculous, but weird stuff happens where you're like, can we move past you being stuck on the fact that my gender only means these two things? And I'm not making up pain, or just that we're all hysterical women and we're making up all of our illnesses. We are not. Just say you don't understand them. Say, I'm too stupid to understand the female body. Don't worry that I went to medical school. I don't. You're still a mystery. I would appreciate that level of honesty. I don't like a doctor that they come in the room and listen. I had one. He stayed on the other side of the room. He didn't even get near me. You don't even want to come examine my body? Just give me a little poke or something? Just poke where I'm saying I have discomfort? Nope, just going to stay over here by the door because I don't want to get near you. It's not like I said I had something contagious. I didn't have anything contagious. It's like, hey, I'm having some discomfort here in my body. Okay, well, it's probably that. You stand over there. Yeah, it was weird. I was like, well, I'm not going here anymore. It's just weird. That's all I'm saying.
Fuck doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it was like, I wish I didn't view them as mechanics, but I do view them as mechanics. And I wish that just like, you go to a mechanic for a modern vehicle, you just plug it in and you read the error codes and all the troubleshooting has been thrown out the window. You don't really have to know how to troubleshoot. Can we hook people up to those machines just like an Idiocracy? You just stand in front of the machine, it scans you. Here's your pills.
Not yet.
Get on it, Colin. I need one of those machines. Or a Star Trek wand.
I've got a whole microchip idea. Maybe that'll help.
Ooh, can you insert it with a vaccine?
Oh, that's the only way to do it.
Perfect.
But here's my thought. My thought is that we should do it without telling the people that are receiving the vaccine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Should there be some way of knowing, like, if you can see if you're magnetic, then you know that you've been implanted with a chip.
Oh, you could just with a spoon.
Just with a spoon. You don't even need a
Yeah,
magnet.
yeah. No. Just with the famous, with a spoon or the famously magnetic quarter.
Yes, those are very magnetic quarters.
Yes. And if that sticks to you, then you'll know that you got the chip.
Perfect. Will it increase my cell coverage and range?
Of course it will. Because then you'll be a 5G beacon.
I wish I was a 5G beacon. I do.
I'm sure you do. I've got dummy 5G out here in the city. Okay. Hey, I got a message just to wrap up this good old show. I got a message for all you motherfuckers that have been shitting on New York rent. Oh, why would you pay that much for an apartment in New York? Hey, guess what? Gas costs a whole bunch, doesn't it? Guess who doesn't pay for gas? Suck my dick, okay? Fuck all you guys that are like, oh, rent costs so much. Hey, have fun driving, you fucking idiots, okay? Not adding that expense to your rent because you have to drive everywhere. Suck it. I got a whole transit system, and I only get harassed every third time I get on it. Suck it, fools. Oh, it costs $275. Don't you have to fit? Hey, I jumped that turnstile. Okay, no one's telling me shit. Yeah, it's $275. Is that a lot to you or a little?
Wait, I thought we were talking about gas because that's cheap for gas.
No. That's what the train costs, and it only costs that the first 12 times you use it in the week. And so, say, for example, I'm not saying that I do this, not on the record, but say, for example, that you and your friends all create copycats of the same card, then you just all as a group have to pay for 12 a week. But if you scan after that, it's free.
I see. How do you keep track about who has who's you just equally divide it, or
you just agree to equally divide it? I mean, if you were to do that, you just agree to equally divide it because all of us are going to get on there more than twice a week for the most part. And if we don't, you're just willing to put that money in. So
I see. Very smart.
That's something you could do, but it's illegal. Actually, I don't know if it is. It doesn't seem like it would be. It's just clever. But I don't do it.
I mean, it's not illegal if you have, 5G from the vaccine. Then it's totally legal.
This is not legal advice. All right, you ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I gotta pee.
Do you have an advertisement that you'd like?
I don't know. These bows. Oh shit. Oh, how about these frosted donuts from Little Debbie?
Oh,
there.
Today's episode is sponsored by Little Debbie Chocolate Mini Frosted Donuts. Is your dad at the gas station? Has he texted you? I'm at the gas station. What would you like? Do you want a snack? Choose Little Debbie Mini Frosted Donuts. You'll be like, those sound pretty okay. And then you'll eat one and you'll be like, oh, fuck. And then you'll eat like 8 of them. And then every time you go to the gas station, you'll be like, I want those Little Debbie Mini Frosted Donuts. And then you'll get, a bit of a heart problem. And then your doctor will be like, stop eating red meat. But you won't tell him about the Little Debbie Mini Frosted Donuts you're eating every day. Oh, my God.
That was great.
You liked it?
You should be doing that professionally. On top of the 30 other jobs that you should be doing.
The crazy ads or just that voice?
The crazy ads with that voice, obviously.
The crazy ads with that voice. I've been doing so many more voices lately because of Dungeons & Dragons, and it's so freaking fun, man. Also, our last Dungeons & Dragons session, it was freaking awesome. That they're finally, it was like I came in with all of this improv experience, so I was able to kind of send them through the story. But I've been waiting for them to make big decisions, to come up with an idea and then do it. And this last session, it became kind of clear that one of them has kind of gone down the I might betray the team line, which is fun in its own right, that they're looking into this, into betraying the team, and so that's a decision. But then they caught onto it, and they came up with a plan to trick the other teammate, and they were like, "Okay, Colin, we want to have like a sidebar with you." So they told me this plan, and I had given them an item where it's like you remember in Doctor Who the card that would like appear to
Oh,
be
yeah,
any
yeah.
ID. Okay, so I gave one of them this item because one of them is like a sneaky thief character, and they did a quest for an item where you show it and it's like that card, but if the card has seen someone's face, then you can put on a mask that's a replica of that face. Okay,
Oh.
so they showed the card to the bad guy that is going that it seems like their teammate might betray them for. And in the middle of the night, they put on a mask of the bad guy's face, and they had the sidebar with me so that I could pretend to be the bad guy, because whenever I'm DMing, I am the bad guy. So them as the bad guy wrote a bunch of questions for me to ask them, and so then in a separate session, I talked to them and I was like, "Oh, you see a character that looks like this," and I asked the questions that the other person had written, and I gave them chances to figure out that they were being tricked, but they didn't. Whole thing. It was so fun, man. It was so fun.
I like it that they keep you on your toes as the dungeon master too. So that's,
Oh yeah. No, you got to be able to improvise. Also, they recently fucked up just a little bit, and they got their companion kidnapped. They have a very cute little tiny goblin companion who's named Gob. Sir Gob the Gobliny is his name. He's a little 10-year-old goblin that they rescued from a cave, and who is a wizard and he's a good dude, but he's 10, and and he talks like this, and he's always got really good ideas, but that he just trips and he falls, and it's just hilarious. But he got kidnapped, so they're gonna have to figure that out.
excellent.
Good stuff.
Sounds really fun. It's really fun.
It's so fun. Okay, sorry that I said that I was going to end the episode and then I ranted about Dungeons & Dragons at you.
It's okay. It's all good. Well, I love you.
It's all good. I love you too. And thank you for watching Nobody Asked. Talk to us next week when we talk about a topic that we haven't decided on yet. It'll be fun. It'll be cool. It'll be Wednesday. Yeah.
That's the only thing we can guarantee. And we can't even guarantee
Wednesday. Yeah. All right. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.